Doctor Doom is one of the coolest characters that Marvel had, and MCU fans have been highly anticipating his entry into the MCU. Well, buckle up, Marvel fans, because I've got some updates about the MCU Doctor Doom.
Yes!
Unfortunately, some of it's bad news.
No!
We'll start with the bad news, then we'll get into the good news and the speculation, because I personally feel Marvel is setting up Doctor Doom to have a massive impact on the MCU and likely Secret Wars. But unfortunately, first we have to talk about some bad news, and it begins with Doctor Doom not being in Wakanda forever. And if you've been following the rumor mill like myself, you will know that there have been many different rumors about Doctor Doom's involvement in Wakanda forever. Most recently, the rumors were that Doctor Doom was going to be introduced in the MCU in a post-credit scene for Wakanda forever that showed that he was actually the person that had set up the conflict between Atlantis and Wakanda. The scene was also supposed to set up the desire of Victor Von Doom to get his hands on vibranium, which could have potentially set up Doom Wars. And early this week, a lot of different insiders and scoopers started to talk about how Doctor Doom was not actually going to be in Wakanda forever, and now that the movie has had its premiere for the press, we know that there's no Doctor Doom post-credit scene, and I don't want to spoil anything in Wakanda forever, but I've reached out to some people that saw the movie, and not only is there not a post-credit scene with Doctor Doom, but Latveria and Doctor Doom are not mentioned or even hinted at in the Wakanda Forever movie at all. Now, there could be two main reasons as to why this is happening. I think the first is that they may not have the actor for Doctor Doom finalized yet. By the way, there is a sweet rumor that Adam Driver is possibly going to be the MCU's Doom, and I think that would be so damn cool. But yeah, so it could be the fact they don't have an actor for Doctor Doom yet, but the larger reason, the real reason, is likely that Marvel changed their minds about having Doctor Doom be the one behind the scenes pulling the strings for Wakanda Forever. And the fact that you don't have any Doctor Doom or Latveria puts the focus completely on Namor and on Wakanda. So I get it, and that's a good reason, but I'm not gonna lie, as a huge Doctor Doom fan, I was a little bit upset and frustrated that I wasn't about to see Doctor Doom in a couple of weeks when I go to see Wakanda Forever. But I'm telling you, if you're not sitting down, you want to sit down, grab that stress ball, because it gets even worse. According to insider Jeff Snyder, Doctor Doom is not going to be the villain of the Fantastic Four movie, and instead will be introduced in a post-credit scene. And I at first thought, okay, so he's not going to be the main villain of Fantastic Four. That's interesting. And he's going to be introduced in a post-credit scene, but maybe Jeff Snyder means he'll be introduced in a post-credit scene on a movie that happens before Fantastic Four. And that's not the case. Apparently, he will literally be introduced in a post-credit scene for the Fantastic Four movie. And in case you don't remember, the Fantastic Four movie was originally going to debut at the end of 2024, but it's been pushed back. It will now debut on February 14th of 2025, which means that we're going to have to wait until 2025 to get Doctor Doom in the freaking MCU. But don't worry, Marvel fans, don't jump out the window like Mr. Immortal and She-Hulk. There's some good news about Doctor Doom as well. And I want to add in some of my speculation here, because I believe Doctor Doom will still serve a very important role in the Fantastic Four movie, and he will be set up as a major player for what happens in Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Now, the good news is that this is being done not because Marvel wants to push Doctor Doom to the sidelines, or not because they're not interested in Doctor Doom. Quite the opposite. This is being done because Doctor Doom is such a big deal for Marvel, and they recognize that. And so they are taking time to not only make sure they have the absolute best actor nailed to be Doctor Doom moving forward, but that they have a brilliant way to integrate him into the current MCU plan. I was also told that it's still a high likelihood that Doctor Doom will be majorly involved in Avengers Secret Wars. Although nothing is confirmed as of now, many different people are hinting at Doctor Doom being the actual villain of Avengers Secret Wars and kind of sidestepping Kang after Avengers Kang Dynasty. We don't know for sure, because Marvel is certainly setting up Kang as the Thanos of this phase. But in every iteration of Secret Wars that there have ever been, Doctor Doom does crazy Doctor Doom type stuff. In the original Secret Wars, he steals the power of the Beyonder, reprograms Ultron to serve him, and he basically becomes God until the Beyonder comes back and takes his power back. And of course, in the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, Doctor Doom is the one that steals the power of the Beyonder as all the incursions are happening, destroying the multiverse. He creates Battle World out of all of the fragments of different universes in the multiverse, and then rules over Battle World as a god. And it seems like what they were going to do with Doctor Doom was set him up as an earthbound threat that had his fingers in like all of the different pies of what was going on planet Earth, right? Like he was going to be a part of some of the teams that then go try to get the vibranium out of the ocean in Wakanda Forever, and that would have firmly placed Doctor Doom as an adversary for people on Earth. And my gut tells me that's one of the big changes that they made to Doctor Doom's trajectory in the MCU, which is also why they removed all of his stuff from Wakanda Forever. And so yes, it absolutely sucks that we're going to have to wait for Doctor Doom's introduction to the MCU all the way until 2025 now, but I am being told it is going to be worth the wait, and what they have in store for Doctor Doom is absolutely epic. But now we got to get into some sweet speculation about things we've heard about the Fantastic Four movie and how it's going to tie into Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. As it stands, the next Avengers movie, Kang Dynasty, will come out just a couple of months after the Fantastic Four movie. And we also just heard last week that a Silver Surfer project, either a special presentation on Disney Plus or a whole actually theatrically released movie, is going to come out a couple of months before the Fantastic Four film. And so for a lot of folks, they believe that that means the Silver Surfer and Galactus are likely to be the villain of the Fantastic Four movie. But I actually think that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be much more complicated than that. And although it may begin with a search for Galactus or trying to stop Galactus from destroying a planet, I think the plot of the Fantastic Four movie is going to be even crazier. And there's a clue in what its production is called. The Fantastic Four movie is currently called Solve Everything Productions, and it's officially registered. And we know that that is the Fantastic Four movie. And if you didn't know, it's very common for productions in Hollywood to go as a code name, as something that's not Fantastic Four. But Solve Everything isn't just some cool name for a Fantastic Four production. It is a massive hint at an element from the Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four run that is likely to be covered in this film. Now, Solve Everything is pretty complicated, but it all begins when the Reed Richards of 616 wants to look into other realities, and he discovers a device that, well, creates a device that allows him to do this. This is when our Reed Richards becomes aware of the Council of Reeds, a group of alternate dimension Reed Richards that have dedicated themselves to the idea of solving everything, and that means all the problems in all of the universes within the multiverse. Now, Solve Everything then goes on to have Reed Richards spending more and more time away from his family with the Council of Reeds. And at first, the Council shows him all the good that they are doing, having entire planets that grow food to then help hungry systems, stopping wars and massive threats like crazy celestials from destroying entire systems. But along the way, he is also made aware of the darker side of the Council, and the way this is done is very interesting. You see, the Council members show our Reed Richards that they have a whole basement full of Doctor Dooms that have essentially been lobotomized. And ultimately, the darkest part of the Council of Reeds is that the Council completely forsakes their family. That's a part of the initiation. They leave their families behind completely and completely dedicate themselves to the Council and to solving the problem of everything. And Reed Richards ultimately decides that that's not for him, that he does value his family. Oh, and most of the Council is destroyed when one of their members betrays them and brings a mad celestial in that wipes them out. It's really crazy. And there have actually been rumors that this was going to be the story that they did with the MCU's Fantastic Four, and I think it's perfect. Like, it works on multiple different levels, but one thing that's kind of interesting about the MCU Solve Everything is that the incursions will already be going on, right? We've already seen the incursions established in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And so it's very possible that you'll see a Council of Reeds in a similar situation to what is going on in Solve Everything in the comic books, but you will also blend that with Time Runs Out and the incursions happening around the multiverse, blowing up different realities and, leading us to a multiversal war or to something like Avengers Secret Wars. And so perhaps the Council of Reeds is the ones that are actually trying to solve all the different incursions, to stop the collapsing of the multiverse. And perhaps they will also have a situation where they have a bunch of Doctor Dooms that they're ripping out of their universes and putting in the basement. This will be a really interesting way to introduce the concept of Doctor Doom in the Council of Reeds or the regular Fantastic Four movie, but then you also save what our Doctor Doom is doing for the post-credit scene in Fantastic Four, which would likely see him becoming aware of the incursions, maybe working out his own plan, or perhaps observing the Council of Reeds. And by the way, this could also be why there are so many different actors rumored to be going out for the role of Reed Richards. Maybe they're casting several different people to be variants of Reed Richards for the Council of Reeds in the Fantastic Four film. But the bottom line, like the big picture here, is that we are going to have to wait for Doctor Doom, but he is apparently being treated very well in the MCU. Is going to have a massive to-do with the multiversal war and with Secret Wars. And so I think that it's fair to say that whatever they do in the Fantastic Four movie is going to set up, at least in its post-credit scene, but possibly in the plot of its own film, what our Doctor Doom is actually doing. I even think there's a chance that the Council of Reeds could be playing the game of worlds against other figures out there that are trying to stop the collapse of the multiverse. In the Time Runs Out run, there was a character called Rabam Allah, who was the leader of the Black Swans. There were the Builders, there were the Map Makers, there were Illuminati from different planets, and as it turned out, the Map Makers were essentially Doctor Strange, and Rabam Allah was actually Doctor Doom. And so maybe you'll see something like that in the Fantastic Four movie, where there are other forces at play that are trying to either stop the incursions or to stop their own reality from being destroyed by an incursion. Time will tell, and I'm absolutely sure that more news on this will come out in the next couple of years. So yes, it's a bummer we won't be getting Doctor Doom until 2025, but I have high hopes for the Fantastic Four movie, for Doctor Doom in the MCU, and what he might be doing for Avengers Secret Wars. Smash a like on this video if you liked. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you have a chance to win the dope nerdy thing that we give away each month. This month, it is the Reforged Mjolnir, but depending on when you're watching this, it's the next month, and there's something awesome and nerdy being given away that month, so just subscribe. And if you want to watch more, why not check out this video I did about Kang the Conqueror's plan in Ant-Man Quantumania. A lot of this is coming from a new plot leak, and it sounds absolutely incredible.